My name is Carlos Edery. I am the CEO of Luxury Cruise Connections. Herlan Ruiz, who is in the screen, he is the what is your title? Business Development
Yeah, business development manager.
Manager
Carlos,
for
yeah.
AmaWaterways for the Southeast region. Denise, if you can make me co-host real quick so that I can also manage. Um, and Luxury Cruise Connections and AmaWaterways have been doing business for probably since the existence of Luxury Cruise Connections. To
It
put
has been actually, Carlos, since
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yes, and so to put this in perspective, for those that don't know much about Luxury Cruise Connections, we've been in business as a brand for approximately 12 years. But Luxury Cruise Connections is really a spin-off of a larger organization called Forest Travel Group. And the Forest Travel Group has been in business for over 35 years. And what our group, I mean, our group has always specialized in luxury travel in different areas. Within our group, we have several different companies and brands, from private aviation, private charters, to luxury cruises, to luxury hotels, to corporate travel, to bespoke travel planning, and so forth and so on. So it is a relatively large group of travel companies. And obviously, Luxury Cruise Connections, which is the company I lead, focused in luxury ocean and river cruises. We've been operating under this brand for that long, and since then, I think AmaWaterways has been. And one of my questions that I'm going to follow up with in a minute is to talk a little bit about the history of AmaWaterways. But we've been doing business with them since I remember we started this brand, and even before that as well. I joined the group about 17 years ago, and so I've been doing this for quite some time already. And our relationship with AmaWaterways has just grown year over year for two main reasons, in my opinion. One, because our clients seem to love the brand. Every time we put a client on board Ama, they want to rebook again and refer their friends. That helps a lot. But two, because we share a lot of the same values. Luxury Cruise Connections and AmaWaterways were both very client-centric companies. We both understand the importance of exceeding expectations and making clients happy. And we understand the importance of customer service and under promising and over delivering. And so because of that, we love doing business with Ama. We love partnering because of the relationship that we've had for so long, and because of the size of the relationship as well. We're able to accomplish a lot of stuff that not many agencies can. Because of our relationship, we have numerous amounts of dates where we have preferred onboard credits, where we have preferred amenities and perks that just not everybody can get, which makes our relationship that much more special. But most importantly, it allows our clients to enjoy the benefits of dealing with an organization that does so much business with AmaWaterways. Herlan, do you have anything that you can add to that in terms of our relationship?
No, I definitely want to go ahead and compliment you, Carlos, on that feedback. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a family affair with what you guys do there, and how great you guys operate with the synergy amongst the different teams and departments, and the experience and leadership. So kudos to you guys. I've been in this business since 1997, and I joined the family here with AmaWaterways in these last 6 years. I say I've left the best for last, and in these 6 years, I've been able to really solidify and strengthen partnerships with our trade partners, and on the top of this list is definitely Carlos and the LCC team here at Luxury Cruise Connections. You guys just do things with integrity, operate the right way, looking out for the guest experience, and making sure that they're happy. And like you said, end game here is making sure they keep coming back for more year in and year out. And we're fortunate to see that. But again, we're leading the way here on the river cruise experience because of partnerships like you, and again, the great clientele that you place and having sail with us year in and year out.
Hey, Carlos, you should also mention how we've been voted the best travel agency the last 2 years, and we're going for our third.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you very much. In fact, yes, there's actually a couple more of that to talk about. Luxury Cruise Connections has made world's best travel. I'm sorry.
North America best world travel agency.
In North America, we got awarded in 2021, in 2022, and we're nominated for 2023 as well. So we're gonna send you guys the link for those that know us and have done business with us. We're gonna send the link out at the end of the presentation so that you guys hopefully can vote for us and help us get that 30 year in a row. But not only that, by the way, Herlan, I don't even know if you know this, but Virtuoso, for those that don't know who Virtuoso is, Virtuoso is the largest and most prestigious luxury travel consortium in the world. They're basically it's a combination of the top luxury agencies and the top luxury travel vendors, travel suppliers. They basically come together to enhance relationships and be able to take even better care of our clients. And Virtuoso, being the largest luxury travel consortium, came up with a program called Virtuoso Cruise Icons, which basically makes the top 1% of all cruise bookers in the entire network. Luxury Cruise Connections has about 10% of all of Virtuoso Cruise Icons are our team, and about almost half of our team is a Virtuoso Cruise Icon. And the other half of the team that didn't make Virtuoso Cruise Icons, it was a reporting issue. So hopefully we're going to fix that for next year, and we're going to see all of our advisors making that cut. And that's a very prestigious award, of course, because Virtuoso being at that such high level in the luxury cruise and luxury travel world, you know, to have so many of our advisors be recognized that way, it was pretty special. So enough of us. How about let's talk a little bit about AmaWaterways, because that's what most people here came to talk about, right, and learn about.
Yep.
You know, like we said, we love doing business with you guys because of what you deliver, but we're here to talk about that a little bit more in detail and understand what it is exactly that AmaWaterways has to offer for your clients worldwide. And so without any further ado, I want to ideally get started by asking you, Herlan, can you share with us a little bit about the history of AmaWaterways, where you guys come from, and you know, a little bit of the past and the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, so we've been in business now for 21 years, but the true story started back, in fact, 1975 with our leader, Rudy Schreiner, known as the Godfather for river cruising. In fact, there's a special grainy video back in 1975 of Rudy, just a 21-year-old kid on this raft floating up in the Amazons, really just building that love for what it is on, you know, the immersive experience in these rivers and these communities you visit in these amazing rivers throughout the world. But back in 75, again, sailed in the river. Again, we made leaps and bounds from rafting now to river yachts that we have in our fleet. So back in 1992, in fact, Rudy Schreiner was a big, important figure in the growth and the expansion of what is today the river cruise experience in that central part of Europe, from the North Sea all the way through the Black Sea. So back in 1992, they created or built the Main-Danube canal. So that basically allowed for the expansion of the connection from the Rhine, Main into the Danube, and again into the Black Sea. So again, innovators. Again, these individuals just come with a lot of experience and dedication for what they do. In fact, Rudy Schreiner led the North American sales effort for Viking over 30 years ago, but that entrepreneur spirit and wanted to design and build their own ships led him to join forces with the Murphy family back in 2001 to initially start the company's name as Amadeus River Cruises. And that quickly turned over to Ama, not AMA, but Ama, derived from the Latin word for love, amor, for the rivers. So again, experience and leadership matter. As you know, Carlos, and our leaders, Christine, Rudy, and the Murphy family have dedicated themselves to building something very special here at AmaWaterways. And as a private and family-owned business, we do things a little different, especially on how we support partners like you guys, their Luxury Cruise Connections, and the clients alike. This easy-to-do business approach always, I feel, brings a positive residual effect for the amazing experience one has when sailing with us and when they are ashore. And we're known as innovators in industries when we're embarking in new rivers, building new ships, providing new enrichment programs aboard and ashore to really make those human connections in these destinations we visit. And as innovators, we are committed to giving back to the communities we visit throughout the world on these beautiful and historic river destinations. So there's a symbiotic relationship, one would say, with these communities, towns, cities that runs deep and provides great value to the overall cruising experience, once again, when you're sailing with the family here at AmaWaterways. Carlos, another important factor I feel is, that we're specialists in what we do. Meaning, while others are doing river, ocean, and yachts, jack of all trades, we do what we do best and have been now for 21 years, and that is doing the river cruise experience exclusively. So the family has had also very responsible and pragmatic approach from day one on how they built this business, that when they build the ships, we pay them off in cash, ladies and gentlemen. So there's no leverage debt on the operation, which I feel is a very, very powerful value proposition when choosing who to invest your money and time with. We're here for the long term, and just know that your investment in us is a very strong one.
That's that's definitely very, very important. What happens is, obviously, for those that wonder why did Herlan just say that, obviously throughout the last several years, we went through the craziest time in our industry where we saw a huge shakeup, right? Vendors that were very strong financially were able to make it to the other side very, very nicely, and vendors that were a little bit less organized, to put it that way, with their finances, had a little bit of a harder time. So I'm very happy to say that, we always had full confidence on AmaWaterways making it to the other side very nicely, obviously, and taking really good care of their clients throughout the way, which was the case. And then as we evolve into the future, AmaWaterways has also been recognized for being innovators in different areas. So, Herlan, can you share with our audience? You claim to be first of many innovations. Can you talk a little bit about which innovations are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, back to Rudy being the maritime architect and the way he designs these vessels, and I feel the designs of these ships are in fact yacht-like. So you come on board these vessels, you feel like it's like a yacht. In fact, a lot of the ships in our fleet are known as the Mercedes-Benz of the river. So quality over quantity is a main focus for us. One of those key innovations on our hardware would be on the long ships, which measure 336 feet long and 38 feet wide. Comparable hardware as say Tauk or Scenic or Avalon or Viking. The biggest difference with our innovations on our ships is that we have lower capacity. We max out at 155 total guests on our long ships. The competition with that same type of ship maxes at 180, 190. So again, important to know that when you have less space or less capacity, we have more room to play with to offer larger staterooms on board. One of those innovations would be the twin signature balcony features that we have on our long ships. Nowadays, the competition is building the rooms with floor-to-ceiling windows, which are nice, but when you open up those floor-to-ceiling windows to the outside element, the room itself would be susceptible to the cold or hot weather. Here with our rooms, very innovative, you have the best of both worlds with a true sit-outside balcony on one side and a French balcony on the other. But again, with the lower capacity, an increase in the other ratio between the guests and the crew. So again, when it comes to providing that optimal service, we're known as the top tier operator to make that happen. With the less space, you have fitness centers, hair salons, spa areas, specialty restaurants. We have our top deck featuring a pool with the whirlpool that's heated. We now have the AmaMagna, or the wider capacity vessel, featuring a pickleball court on top. So again, we're the first to bring active biking experiences in these destinations to allow our guests to enrich themselves in the immersive experience that you have at these cities they visit. So again, we're known just coming in new things, innovating, growing. But again, it starts from the leadership, and it definitely got to give a big kudos to Rudy and Christine for what they do and how they build these vessels for us and our guests to enjoy.
I wanted to show this image because it shows the AmaMagna. When I started in this industry, I remember how confusing it was to try to understand the differences between the different river cruise lines, because there's many, right? There's many brands, and each brand has many ships, and they all look similar from the outside. So I remember how hard it was to identify the differences, and I think one of the things that I want us to accomplish today is to be able to help our audience understand if Ama is in fact the right cruise for them, because each one offers a little bit of a different experience. So while you, Herlan, can talk basically mainly about Ama, I'm going to use any opportunity that I can to try to shed some light on how it compares with the others. And I think showing the AmaMagna is a good example of one of the main differences. When you look at most river cruises, most river ships, they're basically half the width as what you see on the screen right now. So the AmaMagna has a larger capacity of guests than a traditional Ama ship, but it's also twice as wide. And they didn't necessarily increase the capacity in terms of staterooms or suites at that same ratio. They added a lot more common areas and a lot more things to do, like a pickleball, for example, which is quite unique on a river ship. You don't find that normally. And again, kind of going back to some of the other innovations, look at the
the twin balcony,
obviously, which is a big thing. You guys carry the spikes throughout, and obviously you've designed your ships in a way where you can store the spikes safely, while other ships don't even have the capacity to do that. And then this twin balcony design, right? Like Herlan was saying, that's not normal in most river ships. You don't find this on every single river ship. Most of the times, a lot of the I guess square footage of the room, you might feel the room is a little bigger because it has that kind of I guess that big window that goes down to turn the room into a balcony, but you really don't have a full actual balcony. So that's I think pretty unique, important also to understand. And then throughout the presentation we'll talk a little bit more about some other differences, but what Herlan was saying just a few minutes ago regarding the difference in capacity, I think that's a very important one too, and I think it's one that really you can tell is directly related to the level of luxury of any ship in general. When you have a higher guest to space ratio, that's one of the qualities that you're normally looking for when it comes to luxury, right? When you have the same size ship but more people, it's gonna feel a little bit more crowded, right? Even though these ships are relatively small compared to any other ocean ship, of course, but that's just something important to point out.
Carlos, and you're showcasing there on the screen the AmaMagna, which is the jewel of the crown. I mean, she's the flagship. She came into service in the summer of 2019, and you were right on point that the increase in capacity was only slightly 20%. So we're looking at a ship that's double the size of these other long ships. So with the competition, they're sitting at 190, and we max out at 196 for this particular ship with the AmaMagna. But again, it goes back to innovations. She's the only one of its kind on the rivers. Because of that wider capacity, she is designated for only the upper Danube and the lower Danube experience. But again, the great thing about this ship, I feel, is that transition business from the ocean-going vessels. A lot of years, folks from the ocean side have been very hesitant to transition in because of the size of rooms or lack of amenities. And now with the AmaMagna, you have the room starting at 355 square feet, full-size balconies, suites ranging all the way to 710 square feet, 5 different restaurants, 4 different bars. So no more excuses. Again, this is a great opportunity for that ocean-going business, and especially for the seasoned travelers on the rivers to explore and make those human connections in a much better, special way here with the AmaMagna.
Great segue for my next question, which is, what is the value proposition of AmaWaterways? And spacious staterooms is, it's I guess a good way to start, right? That's one of the big differentiators. What we have up in the screen right now kind of depicts a little bit of that. Hopefully you guys can tell, those that are ocean cruisers can tell how similar the size of the room looks like to an ocean cruise stateroom. If anybody has been in a river cruise before, you would realize that this is definitely much larger than your traditional river cruise stateroom. So Herlan, what else? What
and Carlos, so if you go back to that image, if you can, you'll see that the style, again, focus of quality over quantity. So again, if you look at these cabins, kind of a 4 seasons on the river, guys. When again we're talking about luxury, what type of luxury? Because again, luxury can mean so many different things. For me personally, it's just the flexibility of exploring and doing what you want on these 7 days on board these rivers, and we provide that. With the amount of plethora of opportunities with the tours. But key thing here, 4 seasons on the river, country club ambience on board, no need for the penguin suits or the gowns, very laid back, but definitely a higher end experience, but not a pretentious experience. Again, everybody that's on the rivers brings something special to the table. It's important not to knock anybody that's out there. So I saw something come up in a chat with Talg and Uniworld. They bring something so special to the table. But let's talk about how we differentiate here with AmaWaterways and why we're considered the optimal cruise experience on the rivers. But again, the key thing here, the spacious staterooms, and also you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, the twin, or actually the connecting rooms. So we're the only river cruise company that has their ships with triples and quads and connecting staterooms. So for that multi-generational family, that demographic, this would be a perfect fit for them to explore these rivers. We have a strong partnership with Adventures by Disney. I mean, it says a lot about AmaWaterways when you have such a prestigious brand like Adventures by Disney wanted to showcase their programs on our ships. Again, that's a strong value proposition, I feel, as well, Carlos.
Let's talk about the cuisine and how that differentiates Ama as well.
Yeah, so we're the first river cruise company to be part of La Chain de Rotisseries, which is a culinary society, invitation only. You have to have the highest acumen when it comes to the quality and the presentation of these meals. And again, the fact is on these river ships, the galleys are very small, so not a lot of room for frozen provisions. Everything is market to table fresh. So as we focus on the immersive experience ashore with our tours, it very much happens in the dining rooms with the meals you're enjoying, regional meals you're enjoying when you visit these different destinations. The cookies, the breads, croissants made fresh every single morning. So again, quality over quantity is a big focus. But again, in these meals in the evening, it being these regional meals, the premium wines from these regions are also complementing the experience when you're navigating through the European rivers.
Herlan, may I just add something, Carlos? He talked about dining. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and when I've been on Ama, they really take it. They watch what I consume. They make special stuff for you and all that. So if you let them know if you have any special dietary needs, AmaWaterways has always come through for me.
Good. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. I think that's very important. Being able to personalize the experience and being able to cater to different needs is also an important quality of any luxury experience. So thank you for sharing that. And all right, so that's on the cuisine. What about the I guess beverage,
the alcoholics? So
yes.
the brand price points are inclusive with your beers, wines, champagne for the lunch and dinner. Even so for breakfast, because I'm a big fan of mimosas in the morning to get the day started. So again, the brand very much inclusive with the alcoholic consumption. Again, it's quality stuff, not bottom shelf, premium wines coming in, free flowing. You got to be very careful in these dining rooms. In fact, and if you've been to a local churrasqueria where you have the green and the red, they'll tap to stop things come in. And you kind of have to have that same scenario with these waitresses, just bringing in that constant white wine and red wine from these regions. But again, it's all inclusive with the meals. And we also have a sip and sail cocktail hour, which is featured 1 hour before dinner every single evening, kind of an open bar arrangement. There is a set menu, kind of a cocktail drink of the day, but a full list of alcoholic consumption that you can enjoy in that 1 hour session. So we also are bringing drink packages into the new season in 24. So for those that really enjoy these libations on board, we're going to have a drink package experience for these guests to secure as well,
which is very good. Let's talk about your dining venues real quick.
Yeah, dining venues. So again, we have our main restaurant, which is open seating from 7 to 9 every single evening. Every single ship features the chef's table restaurant, which is a specialty restaurant. Very unique that you have the chef, in fact, preparing these meals for you in a glass enclosed area in that same dining room. So very interactive, and up to 10 courses provided for you. But again, more of a tapas arrangement. But again, just the constant free flowing of the premium wines paired up with the regional meal. So again, back to regional meals. So say if you're in Germany, the Wiener Schnitzel, you're in the Hungary with the beef goulash. I mean, just endless amount of opportunities you have to really immerse in the culture ashore and on board. But we're working on definitely enhancing more of that alcoholic consumption, premium with these packages, again, coming into 2024.
Cool. And service as a value proposition. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, Carlos, like I said, I've been in this game for quite some time, and a lot of folks bring something special to the table with service, but just personally and professionally, we do such a great job in how the team works and creates synergy on board with the different departments and housekeeping, the front desk, the wait staff, and again, not only exceeding guest needs, but they just have a knack of anticipating what the guests need from the day one. I mean, they study the manifest coming on board the ships prior. Again, it's an authentic take on how they operate and take great care of our guests. It's a genuine love. It's a family. In fact, a lot of the feedback we get from our partners and guests when they come on board is they feel like they're part of a family. They're coming on board someone's home. And that's in fact what you see here with our ships and our crew on board. It's an extension of Rudy and Christine's homes on these ships. In fact, they get to travel with our guests and crew about 10 to 15 times in a year. So the opportunity to build that one-on-one relationship with the family is very much in play here. But again, it's just a dedicated way in how they generally love what they do. And our team members, they hail from the parts of the world we navigate through. Okay, and they're long tenured. They start off as tour guides. They come on board and become cruise managers, team members on board. So again, it's a family affair that resonates and really defines us in the other market.
Now let's talk about your I guess shore experience, your excursions. What makes you different regarding those shore excursions? Like, what's the value proposition there?
There are many. One thing is that they're all inclusive with the price point, so you're not going to have that nickel and diamond experiences with us. So we offer, in fact, up to 6 complimentary excursions at each of the destinations we visit. You have your morning option, you have your afternoon. Now we're staying longer in port to provide evening, overnight experiences at these cities we visit. But again, it's just a plethora of opportunities. So when it comes to these guided tours offered in different modes, gentle walking, you have regular, very active. The biking experience is very much in play as well. And then there's hiking up these hilltops and citadels to visit the other castles. Personally, for me, Carlos, one of my real enjoyments with these tours is the biking experience, where I've actually got to take a bike off one city we visit and then meet the ship maybe 5 miles, 10 miles down the riverbank in a different city. So when it comes to becoming part of that local life, that immersive experience, we provide the luxury of more for you all to really make that happen here with AmaWaterways. But it's all built in, nothing extra. You
have e-bikes as well, Herlan?
No e-bikes. E-bikes are a big liability. So these are traditional pedaling bikes. Okay. So the electric are a lot more heavy. I mean, we're hearing stories about the battery cells, combustion, and we don't want any of that. Okay. Another thing I want to mention before I forget, which is very important, is the size of our groups with the tour guides. They're very intimate in size. We max out at 15 total guests per tour guide, where I've seen the competition walking with 40 or 50. So again, when it comes to that intimate setting, you build more of that human connection with that tour guide, which is basically walking you throughout their hometown. And it's quite special. And I think that definitely is a strong value proposition versus our tours, versus what the competition is offering.
So again, just to recap, the differences with some other river cruises out there, it's the size of the groups for shore excursions and the amount of excursions included. Some river cruise lines out there will include 1 excursion per port. When you have up to 6 that you can choose from, it gives you a little bit of a wider array of options that you can choose from when it comes to the shore excursions. Let's talk about the wellness program. I think that's important to highlight because that's also somewhat unique to AMA. Maybe not necessarily completely unique, but definitely a differentiator against some of the competitors in the rivers. So let's talk about the wellness program.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, again, another innovation, Carlos, on our ships. But before we get there, I want to also highlight that, with our guided tours, one of the things that I love our cruise managers share with our guests on that second morning as they do the overview on tours is you can, but you don't have to. You can enjoy the guided tours, which provide just a very in-depth opportunity to immerse in that culture. But there's nothing as special as you getting off on your own and exploring these destinations. Okay. And our team provides you with all you need to know to, again, navigate yourself through these cities, visit the cafes and the courtyards and really immerse. But again, one of the highlights is going to be the wellness. And also cruise manager says you can, but you don't have to. So you can do the guided tours, you can do your personal exploration, but just stay on board, enjoy the parallel program that we have at the wellness. So the mind, body, and soul, very important. We're not only selling it, we're living it, breathing it. So if you guys are into some champagne yoga on the pool deck, we're going to make that happen. But we have dedicated, specialized individuals on the wellness side that do these training sessions for you throughout the cruise. They do some training, jogging up and down the riverbanks, do the bike experience with you as well. But again, that top area there for the sun deck is great again for that champagne yoga. So very unique and a very, very special way to get that thing done.
That's important to know. Not every
Carlos, could I just interject, because he talked about tours, and one of my guests who is with us today, Margot, she's thinking of the Mekong River cruise. And I got to tell, first of all, I went, and thank you, Herlan, for giving me information. So I just want to give information to Margot and others. First of all, with the Mekong River cruise, what AmaWaterways does, in the Cambodia part, they will have people, the tour guides are from Cambodia, so they know their area. Then when the cruise gets into Vietnam or vice versa, whichever direction you're going to, they have guides who live in Vietnam. So the guides are very knowledgeable in the areas that they're taking you. And one of the most interesting, we had tours in the morning and then come back for lunch and then go back for another. And one of the, which Herlan told me about, and I was prepared, we went to a school where they were fourth graders. They look like second graders, but fourth graders. And that was one of the most interesting tours I've ever taken. The kids were smiling. We may not have had communication language-wise, but the adults were just thrilled as well. It was just one of the best. It wasn't luxurious, but it was one of the most interesting and satisfying tours I've ever been on. And just wanted to mention that the tours are fantastic, especially on the Mekong River cruise.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I would agree. Definitely a life-changing experience for anybody that wants to embark in that part of the world in Southeast Asia.
For sure. Let's see, where we were talking about wellness, right? We were talking about the wellness program.
Mm-hmm.
And the pickleball. So pickleball being, you guys, I mean, obviously it's a very popular sport right now. You guys are the only river cruise line that has a pickleball court on your ships.
It's only one ship, the Ama Magna, because of that wider capacity. Yeah, and again, we see the great things happening here in the South Florida market, especially Palm Beach, with these country clubs converting these tennis courts into the pickleball courts. I mean, it's the rave right now. So we said, why not? We got the extra space with our capacity. We made it happen. It's been well received, especially for group business. Carlos, we're seeing a lot of healthy group business coming up because of the wellness.
I think it's a differentiator. Obviously, well, on that ship you have that, but in general, you have a plunge pool. You have people can actually get a massage on board an AmaWaterways. People can get their hair done on board AmaWaterways. Those are different little things that you don't have on every other option out in the rivers. Like I said, I mean, there's many options and there's different brands that offer a combination of different things that we're talking about. But again, Ama has that, I guess, that uniqueness that really kind of combines all of these things together. And that really makes an effort to make wellness a part of your trip, right? Not just, eating, drinking, and sightseeing, but also if you have that lifestyle and you want to continue to be able to do your yoga and continue to meditate or work out or whatever, then that this is an option where you're going to be able to continue with that lifestyle even throughout your trip. So that's important to highlight. And now let's talk a little bit about the world of Ama. Like, where do you guys travel? What destinations do you visit?
Well, Carlos, if you can place the map, so we can provide the optic of our world destinations. I mean, we're not limited just to European rivers. Obviously, European rivers are a big focus for the operation. You'll see our season normally begins in the Netherlands and Belgium, Dutch waterways experience. You got great 8-day, 7-night cruises there. In fact, that experience is so popular that we're not limiting ourselves only for the springtime. Now the Dutch waterways are available for guests to enjoy all the way through October. But the journeys continue there on the Rhine, the captivating, enchanting from Amsterdam to Basel, Basel to Amsterdam, which I'll be embarking in October, which is very, very excited. You also have your connection into the Moselle through Luxembourg. We visit the 3 main rivers of France there for the Seine, northern France. the northern and southern Burgundy region on the Saône and the Rhone, great for those Burgundy wines. And then, of course, the Bordeaux, a great place for those rich Merlot wines as well. And then we have 2 ships designated, soon to be 3 ships by the end of 25 for the Douro River, which would be the Portugal experience with connections on the land side with Salamanca, Madrid, and Toledo. But again, big focus, of course, everybody knows, is the Upper Danube. The cruises there, where I in fact did my first journey with AmaWaterways on the river 6 years ago, was on the Upper Danube. Flew into Munich, did a 2-hour connection into Wilshofen, and then we sailed downstream into the city of Budapest. So very convenient, unpacking one time and immersing in 5 countries in 7 days, and quite magical countries you're going to be visiting there with Germany, Austria, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, and then Hungary. And then the journey on the Danube continues down south as well, from Budapest into Gheorghe, Romania. But again, not limited to the European rivers. We got the exotics as well. So the Nile, we have the Nile River Cruise Experience, 11-night cruise tour. So 3 nights in Cairo before your journey, then 7 nights round trip out of the city of Luxor, 1 back night into the Cairo post-cruise. Southeast Asia, like Steve mentioned there, for the Mekong, South Africa, and then further innovations. We're innovating 1 continent at a time. South America is going to be next with the Ama Magdalena River through Colombia. So again, that's the optic of what we're seeing. Normally about 8-day, 7-night cruises in length, but we in fact can do combinations. We have a very robust operations team to really get things going with you when it comes to longer journeys of 14, 21 nights, 28 days. In fact, we had our 7-river journey earlier this year, doing the North Sea all the way down to the Black Sea for 46 nights. So again, it goes back to the clout that the family has. I mean, Rudy born in Vienna, Christine in Dresden, Germany. We got a deep-rooted relationship with the ground operators there to really enhance the experiences on the rivers that we visit. It'd be with the longer, shorter cruises of 7 nights, or even longer cruises of 40+ nights.
I think it's important to highlight a couple of things, and that's a good overview that you just did. I think it's important to highlight a couple of things. If you want to go to this area of the world, I'm talking about, I don't know if you can see there you go. Oh, you can see it now. If you want to go to Portugal and want to do the Douro River, there's many cruise lines that do that region, but most of them are chartering the ships. And AMA has, the 3 ships are owned, right?
No one on the Douro River owns the vessels there, so it is a partnership. So anybody that says that they own it, Carlos, no.
Sorry, I apologize. Maybe let me rephrase. But these are basically, they were purpose built for you, and you operating them since the beginning. I guess that's
correct.
What I mean.
That is correct. Correct.
So new ships. What about the Nile? Nile, everybody.
So the Nile, we have the Amadalia there. It came into service in September of 21. So much success, Carlos, that we're having with that program. We're building a 2nd vessel, the Amalilia. So we have the Amadalia, the Amalilia. Beautiful thing about those ships there, max capacity is only about 65, 70 guests. So just think about the intimacy with those vessels there, and it, again, back to the authenticity of what we bring on board with the regions we're visiting. Everything on board is very authentic, with the Bedouin tents on the sun deck. The meals coming very authentic from the other region. But that, again, is sold as an 11-night cruise tour, not a 7-night journey alone, round trip out of Luxor. But great to enhance, again, with the pre in Cairo, visiting the pyramids of Giza, the old world, the Egyptian, the old museum of Egypt. And then again, you got that post return back into Cairo. But with this one here on the Nile, we can enhance, once again, it's important. And we'll go into another slide to talk about our pre and post components. But on the Nile, you can do Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And then you can also do Amman and Petra, Jordan, and Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And yeah, again, I think this is from Allison. Obviously, we're part of an industry. Paramount importance is safety and security of our guests. We're not going to turn on a program in a region that's not safe. We're not the only ones that are operating in that part of the world. It's been a very popular and safe region to travel for quite some time. And that's, in fact, why we're continuing to invest and expand our overall growth there with a 2nd ship. So yes, it is safe, and we wouldn't put anybody in harm's way.
And that said, and Herlan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it is law in Egypt that American tourists are accompanied by military support as well.
Correct.
So, right?
Correct.
Am I right? So
yeah, I mean, it's not overbearing, but because again, you don't want to go into an experience and have folks with the AR-15s. But again, it is making sure that our time there is protected. And again, the last thing the government from that region wants is for anything to happen to the guests visiting that part of the world. I mean, there's so many things that are happening to keep our guests secure. I mean, things I can't share. I hope you can understand. But again, there is roving security on board. But again, anywhere. I mean, is it safe sometimes here in the States to just go to a shopping center? So we got to be very careful not run into trouble. But we got to keep things in perspective that, yeah, we definitely are making sure we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's to keep our guests safe.
And Carlos, when I went to Egypt and on the tour, we had a very nice, not just a guide, but another person. And when we got back to the ship, I realized that person was on, but never as presumed it and all that. Everything seemed very safe.
Yeah. And talking about putting things in perspective, this Portugal experience and the Nile River are usually selling out very, very far out. They're extremely popular and capacity is extremely small.
True.
Even the Douro, these are smaller ships than what you normally would see in the Danube. And of course, like Herlan said, those in Egypt, even more so. Yeah. So very, very reduced capacity, not a lot of players in those rivers. And capacity goes out very, very quickly. So if you guys are thinking of doing any of these destinations, I do recommend thinking very far out. Although, because of your new ship, I think you do happen to have some last minute availability on the Douro. Is that right, Herlan? Still do?
Not the Douro. The new ship, the Ama Sintra is coming in the end of 25. And again, I'd like to piggyback on what you mentioned. You're right on point. You know, the current trend right now for booking river, especially with AmaWaterways, is 12 to 15 months in advance to really leverage the optimal deals or just even get space to get on board one of our cruises. It's a great problem to have. I mean, we all expected this to happen after the pandemic years. I mean, there's a major boom in the industry right now, especially with cruising. And again, what we did with integrity throughout these dark years and working with our partners, we're stepping up to the plate. We're seeing instant sellouts. As much as when we launch our programs, we're seeing sellouts right away, and it's happening already, in fact, for 2025. Yeah. So in 12 to 15 months in advance, and there's certain canvases that you're looking at roughly almost 18 months in advance, and that would focus on that Portugal region, the smaller exotic destinations, the French rivers. Where you're seeing kind of, a taper of the business, unfortunately, is in that lower Danube region right now. But again, we're still traveling there. It's a beautiful part of the world. But again, 12 to 15 months to really capitalize on the savings and just, again, to get on board the ship.
Yeah. And also I want to highlight a little bit about Africa. It's not, you would not normally see river cruise lines offering an Africa package. In fact, keep me real here, Herlan, but I think Ama is the only river cruise line, at least that markets in North America, that offers an Africa package. These guys are sailing on this beautiful little ship through.
Let's call her intimate, Carlos. Let's not call her little. Let's call her intimate.
Small. It's a small ship. I mean, it's very. Yeah, you're right. It's intimate. Just very. How many staterooms do you have? Like 30?
Things like 30? So you're right. And again, it's very unique of a program. So it's 5 days, 4 nights on the Chobe River. Again, for geography perspective, in that basin between Botswana and Namibia. So again, 5 nights on the river Chobe, and then up to 20 nights when you incorporate the African safari components of the experience. But yeah, you're right. It's only 12 suites, a total of 22 total guests on this ship. Those 5 nights.
22 guests, even less than I even thought. And then not in the map, but you mentioned way too quickly, is Colombia. You're the only river cruise line that offers a Colombia program, which is going to start when is it? Next year? Next October?
So November of 2024, we're going to be launching 2 ships. So the first one launching November of 2024 on the Ama Magdalena. So that's the ship's name, out of Barranquilla down south all the way to El Banco. And then we'll have a second vessel, the Ama Melodia, joining our fleet in the spring of 2025. Okay, and then she'll be sailing from Cartagena down south as well.
Right. So for those that are kind of trying to figure out what we're talking about here, normally most Americans will visit Cartagena, and that's as much as Colombia as they're going to get to know. Cartagena is obviously very touristy nowadays, right? And while you can explore and get a lot of culture in there, it's a very touristy city nowadays. With this program, you're going to get to explore Colombia in ways that not many tourists get to explore, again, in a very safe way. The areas that you're visiting, and the parts of the country that you guys are visiting are definitely quite unique, and kind of a much more authentic traditional Colombia experience. So I think that's pretty cool and quite unique as well. So
well, we're counting on you and the team to take this to the next level. I mean, you're one of our viable partners in the area, but again, we're super excited. This is a very special and dear program and product that we're coming and launching soon by Rudy and Christine. And they're walking the walk. I mean, they're spending their times down in Colombia, building relationships with the with the local communities, to again really expand this and really put this in the market as something that we'll be proud of, and for you guys to be proud of selling to your clients as well. So we're very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you mentioned about land programs. So obviously anybody that is going on an AMA river experience, sometimes you might go a little bit beyond that, 7-night or 10-night experience in the river. Talk about a little those land programs and what you have to offer there.
Yeah, so every 8-day, 7-night itinerary has those booking components offered pre and post. So, for example, if you're doing the captivating ride or enchanting ride, you can do Amsterdam. Now we're offering Lake Como, Basel, Zurich, Lake Lucerne in conjunction with the 7-night journey. So again, just a great way to enhance the overall experience. You're already making this type of investment on the cruise. Why not just spend the extra $2,000 to get immersed in a 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel with the meals included, tours included. You'll have your cruise manager, personal concierge, welcome you at the baggage claim area from the airport, transferring with you all the way to the hotel, with you at the hotel, and all the way down to the ship. So again, a hospice experience when you're with us from the beginning to the end. But again, definitely the wise investment now to just spend the extra $2,000, enhance the experience. I know there are talks, Carlos, about in the wave season we'll be launching some free land programs, which you knew from the beginning of the year was a very successful offering in the market. So we're going to hopefully be bringing that in the Q1 of 2024. But yeah, definitely make the investment here with the LCC team for them to look at what opportunities we have in play to, and again, enhance your experience on the rivers with the pre and the post.
Well, I'm gonna share with our audience a little bit about what's going on in the industry in general, which I think is important to understand what we're gonna talk about next, which is some of your current promotions, which I know our audience is interested in learning about. And by the way, at the end, I'm seeing all the questions that are in the chat, so at the end, I'm gonna go through all of them and make sure that we address each one of them and those comments as well. So as I was saying before, the industry went through a lot of turmoil during COVID. Obviously, everybody in this industry was struggling, right? The cruise lines, particularly, holding this, a lot of hardware and having to keep all these people on payroll as much as they can so that they can come back to operation as fast as they could. What happened during COVID is that people, like cruise lines, or people that had reservations, were being canceled on like almost every other month, right? Like they had made a reservation and then due to COVID, they had to cancel. And due to COVID, they had to cancel. Then all of a sudden, everybody had moved their reservations from 2020 to 21, 22, and cruise lines needed cash flow. And this, I'm giving you guys industry, kind of general information, right? Cruise lines needed cash flow. This is all across the industry. So they needed to sell inventory, and cruise lines didn't have more inventory to sell because everybody that was booked in 2020 was already booked in 21, 22. So what do? They go out and they open up 23, 24, 25. Cruise lines start opening up a lot of inventory, right? So what happens is once we get out of COVID, cruise lines have more inventory in the marketplace than they ever had in their entire history at a single particular time. And then we start hearing all the news and all the media talking about this roar in the travel industry, right? Cruise lines are selling more than ever and demand is higher than ever. And that is absolutely true. But what happens is demand is crazy high, but then the amount of inventory that was out there in the marketplace when this is happening is also higher than ever. So cruise lines, many of them, including AMA, has some particular pockets of availability still left for 2023 and early 2024. Like Herlan says, the average AmaWaterways booking is made about 15 months ahead. So when a cruise line sees that you still have some pockets of inventory open for 2024, for 23 and Q1 of 24, well, they need to fill it. And so you're gonna see, in my opinion, is the last time before we see crazy prices high or going very high, the last time that we're going to see this little pockets of inventory still out there in the market. Because what again, also what happened with the industry is, to compensate for that, they started compressing. They needed to raise prices, they needed to lower inventory. So now you would see cruise lines slowing down in opening, more inventory toward the future. They need to fill what they have. And so why do I say all of this? Because when you see promotions out there, sometimes, especially in the cruise industry, it's hard to understand whether it's just another marketing gimmick or if it's real, a real discount, like something real happening. So my point is, I think this is probably one of the last opportunities that we're going to see to take advantage of kind of distress inventory per se. Okay. And that's why we see promotions like this popping up last minute in the marketplace, where we have select 2023. Why does it say select? Because it's particular itineraries that still have some inventory left, right? That the AMA needs to fill right now. So select 2023 and 2024 Q1. I think it's only Q1, right, Herlan? Or we
no. So yeah, no. We have Carlos, and again, appreciate you taking the time to just spell it out. I mean, because it wasn't easy in those two years, but again, the key thing here is we worked together and we got out of it together, and now we're reaping these rewards on these seeds we sowed. So, but again, yeah, you're right. I mean, there are some need space, some need dates for 23 and into 2024. So 3 key opportunities we have right now are with this save 20% off into 23 and 24, which is running now through September 30th. And the cool thing about this is that it is combinable with a lot of the loyalty savings promotions, the FCC future cruise benefits. And most importantly, if you look at the next slide, would be the Air Plus date. So we see a lot of noise from others about free air, reduced air. So we said, you know what? Let's make a mark here. All right, we're leading the way with the experience and the quality of our ships and on board. But now again, let's make sure we get some new traction with some new clients within the market to capitalize on the offer. So 20% complemented with the Air Plus offer. So these are set rates, flat rates for Europe in 23 and 24, with the economy starting at $899. You have the premium economy air at $22.99, and a very, very attractive rate there for business class at $42.99. And again, great thing, we know that the fluctuation with the airlines, I mean, I think they're kind of the mafia of the industry, controlling what happens with these numbers. But again, we've gone into contract with a lot of the major air carriers, back to the clout that the family has, to again harness and lock in special rates for our 23 and 24 itineraries, and again complemented with the 20%. The third key opportunity, I mentioned this to the team, and Carlos is very, very aware with this, is groups. Okay, group opportunity for us is very lucrative and very easy to work with. And again, at the end of the day here, all you need is 5 staterooms to set up a group with AmaWaterways. So why not invite a friend and family to join you on these amazing cruises? And of course, the exclusive benefits we have with our mutual partnership with Virtuoso. Carlos mentioned about the Virtuoso icon. So you guys here in the market are represented by a very viable travel agency and travel partner here with LCC Forest Travel. So again, you have exclusivities with a good amount of 50 dates, 60 dates into 24, offering $300 of a shipboard credit. That is combinable today with a thank you exclusive offer for you guys partaking in this event of an additional $100 off per person for anything booked today or up to the middle part of next month. Okay, so again, the 4 opportunities, I said 3, but it's really 4: the 20% off, Air Plus combination, the group business, and of course the mutual partnership we have with Virtuoso.
Important to highlight that this $100 per person of additional savings is specifically only for new bookings. We do understand and acknowledge that some of you guys might have existing bookings with AmaWaterways right now. This that AMA has put together for us is specifically to incentivize you guys to make a new booking. So if you already have a booking with AmaWaterways, obviously, thank you so much, for the loyalty. And this is to hopefully invite you to make a little incentive to hopefully incentivize you to make a new booking with AmaWaterways through Luxury Cruise Connections, through us, of course. For those that I'm going to add a little bit to this. For those that have done business with us in the past, you already know what we do and how we do things. For those that haven't done business with us in the past, it's important for you to know how we operate as well. We obviously have gotten to the size of a company that we are by nothing else but offering just great service, just being very, very client-centric, and really caring making sure that the experiences that we're helping our clients have on board the different cruise lines not only start when you take the cruise, but we believe that the experience starts from the moment you make the booking and even before that as well. So we want to be part of that experience. We want to be part of making sure that from the moment you book to the moment you come back from that trip, that we're here for you, that we're helping you put together every single detail of that trip. And that is why we created an infrastructure that where not only do you have a personal relationship with your advisor, meaning you're not dealing with a call center. Once you decide to do business with us at Luxury Cruise Connections, you're assigned to somebody, and that advisor is an expert on not only the product, but becomes an expert on you, gets to know you, gets to know what you like, what you don't like, gets to know what it is that is going to make that experience so special for you. And then we created a team of concierge managers and concierge coordinators that help basically enhance that experience by being there for you to put together airfare arrangements or transfer arrangements or tour arrangements or other pre or post that might not be offered by the cruise line, or whatever other special experiences that you might want to live during your trip. So we make sure that we are creating I guess a platform that allows the advisor and the concierge team to deliver an experience before the cruise as well, which we think is extremely important. And obviously having the relationship that we have with AmaWaterways and the ownership of AmaWaterways and Herlan, of course, etc., allows us to personalize that experience even more so, but also allows us to provide you guys with a little bit of that extra level of I don't want to say safety, but kind of that we're here for you in case something goes different from planned. Let's put it that way. That you have us that have this level of relationship with Ama that can help you kind of fix whatever, or to straighten anything out if something needs to be straightened out. So we just want to say that we're here for you, of course, and that for those that haven't done business with us in the past, we very much look forward to the opportunity of getting to know you and establishing a relationship long term.
Right on, Carlos. I think the word you were looking for was peace of mind.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I think, Herlan, you've dealt with us for a long time. I think you can attest to kind of how that works, right? I mean,
absolutely.
How many times have we had a situation that is beyond anybody's control, and then we just need that extra level of support? And obviously, Herlan is just a phone call away from us.
And we sit down, we have a conversation. We're of a mentality here in AmaWaterways of no, we can't do this. We're more in like, all right, let's see what we can make happen. We're understanding of black and white policies, but there's always a gray area of getting creative. And you guys are, like I told you, top of the book when it comes to not only the the promotions and the offerings, but the service experience. That's value right there, guys. So again, you're in great hands with the LCC team. I vouch for them. If that holds any weight, I've been in this game since the late 90s, and I've seen my fair share of operators operating on the retail side as well. So kudos to you, Carlos, and what you've been able to build there with that team. But it all starts from you, leadership and the innovations, the resource on the technology side. Again, great job.
Herlan, before we go over to the questions real quick, one last question, just in case anybody's wondering. Is there any logical reason why anybody would not want to deal with Luxury Cruise Connections and would want to book directly with Ama?
No, well, our business model is, in fact, 99% with the trade distribution. I mean, there's that 1% of the business that just wants to decide to book directly thinking they're going to get a better deal, and that's quite the opposite. We're never going to undercut our partners and offer something better going direct than you are working with the likes of LCC. So again, it's in your best interest to work with a travel advisor to provide you not only with the best return on the bookings that you're booking, but again, the fact is that peace of mind knowing that you're going to have somebody there holding your hands from the beginning through the end, building that relationship, which matters. And you guys here at LCC bringing that to the table.
Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. So now straight to the questions. By the way, guys, I'm going to read all the questions. If any of you guys want to unmute yourself and ask something live, please feel free to do so as well. So let me start with Victoria. She was asking, how do you compare with Uniworld or Talk? Herlan, how much of that can you answer?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I mean, everybody brings something special to the table. I'm never going to knock the competition. I'm just going to highlight what we do better here. I mean, the Uniworld is one of our toppest competition. They're more of a boutique style of an experience. I'm told a little bit more pretentious when it comes to the onboard decoration, a bit gaudy with the chandeliers and the furry walls. But again, there's a market for everything. And Talc is another close competitor for us. But again, I'm focused on making sure I'm sharing with you the Ama story, which hopefully it resonates. But the key thing is for you guys to really get this experience hands-on, so you see exactly what we're talking about.
I'll add a couple pointers there. I think that it's all about finding the right fit for the right client. Uniworld, for example, in my opinion, they're a great cruise line. Just to put things kind of black and white, I think the price point for Uniworld is a higher price point. The inclusions on board a Uniworld, I guess, it's probably, I could say, more inclusive than AmaWaterways in terms like of the drinks and whatever and so forth. So like if that's the right combination for you. Also, I guess the decor, for example, on Uniworld, I think it's beautiful decor, but you have to be into that type of if you're going to France, you're going to find like a very French decor in the ships. Some people like it, but some people don't necessarily like that kind of decor on board those ships. And the same thing happens in each destination. So it's a different experience in terms of that, in terms of the decor of the ships, in terms of what they include, and then the price point also is very, very different. I think where they compete very closely is in the delivery of service, right? So I think that's important to highlight.
Yeah, service and cuisine, because again, I said we're the first to be part of La Chain de Roteziers. They're the second ones to be part of La Chain de Roteziers, and that happened about 4 or 5 years ago. Again, innovators. That's one thing that really differentiates us from the competition. It's flattering to at times be copied on what we're doing, because again, that means we're doing something right. But again, I'd say diversify the portfolio of experience Ama, experience Uni, experience Scenic. Why not? It's if you have the opportunity to make those type of investments, I say experience it all.
Yeah. And I think, again, going back to the value of us as travel advisors is whenever we get on the phone with you, it is our job to make sure that we really dig deep into what you're looking for your vacation and make sure that we're recommending and advising on the right cruise line. I think that today we've been able to share with you a lot of the amazing things about Ama. But like I said, I mean, it is important for us as advisors to make sure that we're putting the right client in the right on the right ships. By the way, Denise shared that link for the World Cruise Awards. So please, you guys, if you've done business with us in the past, for those existing guests of Luxury Cruise Connections that I know you're on the call, if you'd be so kind and click on that link and vote for us. We would love to get your support. We would love to win that award for a 3rd year in a row. So thank you. Bernard was asking, do you allow kids under 18?
So the age restriction for us directly with Ama's 4 years old. With the Adventures by Disney, it's open. But the thing here, we got to again set the right expectations, perspective,
Yes.
of cruises. So you want to make sure that you have, when it comes to younger children, more of the teenagers, in high school, graduating from high school, going into college, appreciating the history and the culture immersive experience. So you don't see a lot of children on our experiences throughout the year. And then when you do, it's mostly in the summer months, obviously kids out of school. But again, it's just grandparents with their kids and their kids traveling, but well-mannered. You're not going to see kids running up and down the hallways. I promise you that. But again, to directly answer your questions, 4 years old is the minimum for children's to sail with us.
Okay, good to know. And Allison was asking how safe the Egypt cruises are. We already addressed that one. Allison, let us know if you want us to talk a little bit more about that. Susan was saying, I was on the Ama Dalia and it was the best experience. I felt very safe. Ama really impressed me. It was my first Ama trip. Susan, are you still with us by any chance?
Thank you, Susan. Welcome to the family.
Susan, here you are. Susan,
Yes.
how are you?
Am I talk? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
I love that trip, and everybody was so good to me, and I felt extremely safe, and it just was wonderful. One of the things that really impressed me was that I got off the plane. Somebody immediately met me, put my visa in the passport. We walked over to the luggage. They got my luggage. I didn't have to touch my luggage, got that. And, took me to the ship. And then on the return, they checked me all the way in. And I'm a solo traveler, and I just felt so taken care of. And I also like staying at the Four Seasons in Cairo.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, Susan.
Well, okay. Susan, what's your next destination in your bucket list?
Well, I really I've looked at all the presentations regarding your Colombia trip. I also like the 3-week African one. And probably the Dora one. But I have on a budget. So I got to figure that all out.
Well, we offer some great, you mentioned solo. I saw something come up in the chat. We do offer aggressive pricing for our solo guests. The thing with that is that those rates are capacity controlled. So back to the booking trend, you want to make sure you lock in those rates as soon as possible. The trend for the real great return on the pricing for solos is about that 18 months prior to sailing. So in addition to the aggressive savings, we offer you an opportunity to dine with the captain, with the officers on board, a welcome party, a going back home party. So again, we make sure we look out for our solo guests. They're very important part of the family. So again, thank you, Susan, for the loyalty, and we hope to see you back on board soon.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll do our job to try to find some good solo offers and share those with you so that hopefully we can make this happen for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have Abdul saying, I want to go to Seychelles, Seychelles to South America. I think the only South America option we have with Ama is going to be that Colombia trip. But Abdul, I'm sure we can find something for you. Somebody from our team will get a hold of you and we'll make something happen. And then Claire was asking, how do I find about this virtuoso booking? So, just kind of to put this in perspective one more time, Virtuoso being the network that it is, right? The consortium that it is, it's a by invitation only, meaning very few agencies and very few suppliers can actually participate in the Virtuoso network. But once we're in, it allows us to create the special relationships and amenity dates, right? These amenity dates are this particular set of dates where you have that enhanced amenity of additional $300 shipboard credit. And obviously many of those Virtuoso dates are also combinable with a lot of LCC promotions, right? Some additional luxury cruise connections onboard credit promotions that we are usually running. So how do you find out? They're the best thing is I'm not sure, Denise, maybe you can help me with this. Is Claire already assigned to somebody within our team? She is?
Yes. Yeah.
Who? I'm sorry?
Yeah, she is. We'll contact her after the event.
Perfect. So Claire, we're going to reach out to you after the event, and we can share with you either the list of all the dates, or you can let us know kind of what area of the world and what set of dates you're looking for, and we can share with you a few options where that enhanced amenity applies, and we can obviously get you all booked for that. And Susan also asking about, well, it was you as well, asking about the solo traveler. So there, you know, almost every, well, not many dates start with solo opportunities, but then they book up very quickly.
Right.
So like Herlan said, just, you know, look as far out as you can. And
also, Carlos, we gotta mind you, there's some offers that come in, like you mentioned earlier, about the need to fill space on these ships. Most recently, we had a month-long offer waiving the single supplement completely on a select amount of dates. So, Susan, again, it's vital for you to work with our experienced advisors here at LCC. Again, they're going to be your guiding light to really steer you in the right direction on where we can capitalize on these very rich offers in the market. Okay.
good. And then Claire, okay, you're with Steve. That's great. You're in great hands. And I don't have any more questions in the chat to I guess ask here live, but I am sure there's questions out there or comments from some of you that are currently with us in the audience. I see some names that I recognize from, you know, our past guests. Or guests of Luxury Cruise Connections. Anybody wants to maybe share an experience or wants to ask a question, or Herlan is a pretty busy guy. We don't get to have him on this events so often, so it's a good opportunity if you have a question that you want to get an answer from Ama directly. This is when. So tell us what.
Don't be shy, guys. And I'm busy, but not too busy for you guys though. So I'm here for it.
Of course. But this is, you know, I would love to maybe get one of you guys to unmute yourself.
I've got a question on the 3-week tour.
Please.
On the literature that you have, it's kind of confusing because it says that the airfare is not included. But down below in a little paragraph, it says that the itinerary is included.
Correct.
When you're on the 3-week trip, the air is included when you're flying around Africa.
Correct. Correct. For example, if we have the extension up to the Tanzania for the Serengeti, there's going to be an extension up from where we're at down in Botswana up into Tanzania. So that interconnecting flight logistics program is all built in as a bundle with the cruise and the land-based components. Now, the international flight to get from, you know, the U.S. over to Africa, that's a whole different game there. And again, you have such a great team here at LCC that they got the right operators, and they'll find you some very attractive rates to get you over. But yeah, to answer your question, Susan, again, it's inter-air domestically inside Africa in conjunction with the overall program, which is cruise and the land-based parts.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. And Jan, would you mind sharing with us a little bit about what you have in your bucket list?
Actually, why don't I share my upcoming cruise? I leave a week from Monday to take a Rhine River cruise, which I'm looking forward to. And I was on a Danube River cruise on AmaWaterways, and that's one reason I booked this trip, because it's luxurious and wonderful.
Thank you.
I have to tell you both, and I hope this doesn't sound like a complaint. When I called to book with AmaWaterways, I was frankly surprised to end up with luxury cruise lines. And although Sean was very wonderful in the end, the beginning was a little clunky. Mm-hmm. And one of the clunks was AmaWaterways was very slow to was very slow to respond to him. Because I asked for a number of things because I've traveled with AmaWaterways before. And I want to also add, my brother is very frugal. Wasn't that nicely put? And I recommended River Cruise for him and his partner. And I said, AmaWaterways is wonderful. And he ended up going with Viking because, are you ready for this? They gave free airfare. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, you get what you get. And so I started comparing. And I had never looked at Viking before. So I looked at them. There was no pool on the top deck.
Right.
Now, that was important to me I want to be able to, when I get back from a excursion, I want to be able to get in the pool and stretch out. So that was very important to me. Plus, the AmaWaterways ship, I was on the Amalia and I'll be on the Amalucia this time. It was absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
And you talked about this a little bit before, the people were not pretentious at all. Mm-hmm. And you need to know, I spent 20 years as an image consultant. So getting dressed up and being fancy is nothing new to me, but there wasn't that sense on the ship at all. It was almost come as you are. Of course, I'm from Seattle, so you see Gore-Tex at the opera, but other than that, it was lovely. So my bucket list, I'm doing it. I'm doing it a week from Monday. Doing the Rhine cruise, yeah. And I want to add a little promo. Your land packages are wonderful. I did that on the Danube too, and I'm doing it on this Rhine. So I'll be in Amsterdam, then I'll be on Lake Lucerne, and then I'll be in Zurich. So I get to see 3 major cities and wander around, like you say, on my own and see them, which is very exciting for me. Could I just make one that's going to sound like a gripe, and then I'll shut up? We've got Denise, the marketing manager for Luxury Cruise Lines, on here, and Herlan, the business development manager. I get endless emails now that I have booked. And what I really don't want to get are ocean cruise promotions.
Okay.
I am not an ocean cruise person. I am a river cruise person for all the reasons you mentioned. Much smaller ship, much fewer people. I don't want to be, I watch them come out here in Seattle, these big honkers, and I can hear the cheerleader clear in my condo unit cheering, and everybody, and it's just like, oh, spare me. River cruises are not like that. They're, as you say, it's a family, and it's very, I don't know, you didn't say what the actual guest to crew ratio is, but it felt like it was practically 1-to-1. I mean, it was amazing.
And at times, Jane, again, welcome to the family. We love you. Appreciate the loyalty. Looking forward to having you on board in a week. Guys, send me over her booking number. I know the red carpet is going to be rolled out, but whatever extra I can do, I'll make it happen on my end. But no, I appreciate that feedback, Jan. Again, we wouldn't be leading the way if it weren't for partners, and of course, definitely clients and loyal guests like yourself. So again, we're looking forward to having you on board the ship for sure. Okay?
I can't wait.
I want to make a recommendation. So first of all, Jan, thank you very much for the feedback. A couple of things. Number one, sorry it took us a second at the beginning to get it right. Glad that we were able to get it right at the end. And Sean, you're in great hands with him. Feel free to just ask him anything you need and use him as much as you possibly can. Also, Denise is taking note. I see she's taking note. We're going to remove you from the ocean
Thank you.
Cruise list. That said, also I want to make a recommendation. If you like Ama so much, they have a very strong onboard booking offer. So when you're on board, I highly recommend you approach the front desk guys and look at what they have for onboard booking opportunities. Take advantage of them. We as a travel agency will get the credit for it, but most importantly, we'll be able to access your reservation and then enhance that booking with additional LCC promotions and also add our support to it. So even if you're booking on board, we can still be part of that reservation, but most importantly, you're taking advantage of the best offer.
Yeah.
So make sure when you're there to look at that and start thinking of what's going to be that next bucket list.
Great thing, Carlos, and great to be proactive with that, Jan. Again, what that represents when you put down a $200 deposit, you secure a future cruise benefit voucher. So what that future cruise benefit vouchers represents an additional 5% off any new booking you make with LCC. In addition, normally it's $400 of a deposit to secure with us, but all you need is just that $200 deposit, and that'll hold that booking and reservation for you. So again, you have 5% savings and a 50% reduction on the initial deposit when you make that happen. So win-win.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I just want to give one short shout out, Carlos, because I did one for Sean, but Melanie Nelson, your senior concierge manager, was exceptional. I think you had a young one in there. She spelled my name wrong on my travel guard. And I saw it come through and I was like, man, am I even protected? So I went to them directly, and then Melanie took over, and she was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
I wish I could have met her. Sean and I chatted a lot about traveling in Ireland because he's Irish. But Melanie, she was wonderful. That's it.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, Melanie leads our concierge team, and obviously, you know, we're here for you, and we would love to continue to be part of your future trips. And
she was wonderful.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you for the opportunity. And what else? What else can we talk about? Let's see. What other questions can we have out there? Arnold, how are you? Arnold Rady. How you doing? Arnold, you know, the Radies have been doing business with us for a long time. How are you? Can I add you to the spotlight for a second and unmute you? Or you gotta unmute though. You gotta unmute. No, you're still muted, Arnold. Arnold, I'm so sorry. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You're still muted.
You gotta wait.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm saying we've done a lot of, we just started cruising 2 years ago. We've done a lot of Silver Seas cruises. This year, we're just at the end of the year, we're going to add a couple of river cruises with Uniworld, with their Jewish heritage cruises. And then we're taking a couple of more Silver Seas, and now we're going to be mixing them up. So we'll be looking toward your cruises probably at the end of the 24.
Thank you, Arnold. Appreciate that. We also, by the way, offer Jewish heritage experiences on the Rhine and the Danube. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll look at that one. But, well, thank you very much. And we're just expanding our horizons. The bucket list is only getting longer, but
Excellent.
we'll get there.
Wonderful. Well, we're looking forward to having you on board one day, Arnold. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at Javi over there doing little heart signs over there.
Yes, well, I'll tell you, the connection, the luxury connection is fantastic. They keep opening vistas, and we have to keep adding our list. So, but it's all good. And thank you for inviting me to this.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. I want to make sure that we've covered every question. If anybody else has any other question, this is when. Would love to hear from you. Linda Winterman, I'm gonna put you on the spot. How are you, Linda? Do you mind if I unmute you for a second?
I'm good. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Linda,
we have not taken a river cruise, so it's something that we're thinking about doing. So this was very helpful to hear, because it is hard to know which cruise line, and we have friends that have been on a few different ones, but I was interested to hear about this. Sounds enticing.
Good,
well, thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon, Linda. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Linda, what do you normally sell on? Do you normally do ocean cruises then?
Well, we've done some cruises. We've been on Silver Seas. We've been on, but we're more land package. We're not package. We're more land tour kind of people. I like to see things really in depth. So, but we were just in Portugal for 10 days, not on a cruise, and I loved that. But I would do that on a cruise because it was so beautiful. I'd go back there. But we have friends that go all the time on river cruises and ocean cruises. So we thought, well, that's something we haven't tried yet.
Yeah, of course. Happy to be here for you, like I said. And by the way, just so you know, obviously Luxury Cruise Connections is our cruise brand, but being part of this larger organization, we have incredible access to combine and to even do land tours as well. But one of the things that we love to do for a lot of people that want to do a little bit more immersive experience is to do like a land cruise combination, which can basically customize for you. And
okay.
So it's something that we can absolutely look into for you as well. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. It's been great. Do you have any other questions? Anything else that we need to highlight today? Anything else? Before I let Herlan go? Herlan, I'm getting a question here privately in the chat.
Sure.
I booked directly with AmaWaterways. Can I still work with Luxury Cruise Connections? How do you answer that question?
Yeah, we got to take that offline. I mean, there's some terms and dates. I mean, if it's paid in full, then it's going to be a tough one. But again, as a private family owned business, we'll go creative and see what we can do. So yeah, just reach out to the team there at LCC. They'll in turn reach out to me, and we'll figure out once we take a look at the booking.
Right. If they haven't made final payment, it's easier, right? We can transfer the receipt.
Correct.
All right, good stuff.
Carlos,
All
I
right.
got to say that this has been a highlight for the week. So let's keep these things going on a series, hopefully. Anything that allows me to, again, tell that AmaWaterways story and engaging, I know in a virtual environment, but again, just blessed to have another tool to make this happen with these human connections. So Carlos, again, kudos to you and the team. Superb job today. Let's keep these things going. But again, main mind week with this engagement. Appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much, guys. For those that joined us late for the presentation, know that we're going to be sending a recording of this event to all of you guys tomorrow, together with a summary of the promotions and amenities that are available for all of you guys. If anybody is looking to get connected with one of our advisors, just reply back to the invitation. Let us know. Send us a call. Send us a text message. Anywhere. We love to make it easy to do business with us. If you can literally reply back to the invitation that you got for today's event, we can assign you to one of our advisors very, very quickly. And we look forward to getting to know any of you guys that have done business with us in the past, and obviously continue to take really good care of all of you guys that have done business with us in the past. Hopefully we can set you up on an AmaWaterways cruise very soon. And Herlan, I want to thank you very much for your time, for all the support that you give us, for everything that you do to help us do what we do for our clients. We very much appreciate it. All the support that you give our team and all the time that you spend taking care of our team and our clients. So we very much appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you, Carlos.
And we look forward to seeing you all in our next live event, and hopefully another one soon with AmaWaterways. So thank you all very much. See you soon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Herlan.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take